Today we will be discussing the nervous system of rabbit, which is divided into three major divisions: the central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and autonomous nervous system. The central nervous system consists of the brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system consists of cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Autonomous system consists of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Let us look at the brain of the rabbit. The brain is the most highly specialized part of the central nervous system. It has an enlarged hollow part with a locally expanded central canal. Around the central canal, the nervous tissue is arranged in two concentric layers called inner white matter, outer gray matter. In the spinal cord, it's just the opposite. That is, the gray matter is inner and the white matter is external. White matter is formed of medulated nerve fiber. Gray matter is made of nerve cells. Brain has three divisions: prosencephalon or the forebrain, the mesencephalon or the midbrain, and the hindbrain or rhombencephalon. Forebrain consists of the olfactory lobes, the cerebrum, and the diencephalon. The midbrain consists of the optic lobes, auditory lobes. All the four lobes are called corpora quadrigemina. The hindbrain consists of the cerebellum and the pons, medulla oblongata. The whole brain is covered by membrane called meninges. They are the outer dura mater, the middle arachnoid membrane, and inner pia mater. The space between dura mater and the arachnoid membrane is called subdural space, and the space between arachnoid membrane and pia mater is called subarachnoid space. These spaces in the central canal of the brain are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. Olfactory lobes. This is the olfactory lobe. The rhyencephalon is clearly distinct on the ventral side. Each lobe consists of an anterior olfactory bulb and a posterior olfactory tract. A part of the olfactory lobe has been shifted ventrolaterally to form a pyriform lobe. The narrow cavity inside each olfactory lobe is called rhinocele or olfactory ventricle. Coming to the cerebrum, a telencephalon is the most extensively developed part of the brain. It is forming about 2/3 of the brain. It's mainly due to the enormous enlargement of the cerebral cortex. Cerebrum consists of two cerebral hemispheres. The surface of the cerebrum is smooth without any irregular ridges or furrows. Each cerebral hemisphere is further divided into distinct lobes by minor fissures. A lateral Sylvian fissure divides it into frontal, parietal, temporal lobes. This is the Sylvian fissure. Frontal, parietal, occipital lobes. On the ventral side is a rhinal fissure which divides it into olfactory lobes and the posterior hippocampal fissure or lobe, posterior hippocampal lobe. The two cerebral hemispheres are connected together ventrally by a nerve band called corpus callosum, or it is called anterior parallel commissure. The feature characteristics of mammal. Beneath the corpus callosum is a fibrous tract called fornix. Between it and the corpus callosum is a septum called septum pellucidum. The cavity inside each cerebral hemisphere is called paracele or lateral ventricle. Greatly thickened roof of the cerebrum is called neopallium. It has two parts: outer cerebral cortex and inner cerebral medulla. Cerebral cortex is greatly thickened, enormously enlarged, and highly specialized. It contains heavy concentration of gray matter. It receives information directly and indirectly from all the receptors, and at the same time it influences every effector. So almost all activities are influenced by it. On the floor of each cerebral hemisphere is a prominent ridge or fibrous tract known as corpus striatum. The two corpora striata are joined by an anterior commissure. Behind this corpora striata is the hippocampal commissure, which joins the hippocampal lobes together. The diencephalon is a narrow, small tract completely covered by the backward extension of the cerebrum. So here it is covered by a cerebrum. The ventricle of the diencephalon is diaceal, or the third ventricle. The thickened non-nervous vascular roof is known as anterior choroid plexus. The endocrine floor is called hypothalamus, and the thickened sides are called optic thalami. And forming the anterior border of the diaceal is a membrane called lamina terminalis. The diaceal communicates with the paraceal by the foramen of Monro, situated on the lamina terminalis. Arising from the posterior roof of the diencephalon is a pineal stalk which ends in a pineal body. Ventrally, the diencephalon bears the optic chiasma. And the infundibulum. Infundibulum is terminally attached to the hypophysis. Floor of the diencephalon bears a median thickening called tuber cinereum. Posteriorly, it ends in a rounded swelling called corpus albicans or corpus mammillarum. It contains centers for the integration of olfactory impulses. Midbrain. It is the midbrain. It consists of the optic lobes are large and superior and called superior colliculi. On the other hand, the auditory lobes are small and lower and are called inferior colliculi. Optic lobes serve as visual centers and auditory lobes integrate auditory impulses. The two optic lobes are joined together by posterior commissure. The internal cavity of the midbrain is called mesocele. On its floor, there are two thickened areas of nerve fibers called crura cerebri. They form a bridge between forebrain and hindbrain. Cerebellum is a highly developed part. It has three portions: median vermis, the two lateral cerebral cerebellar hemispheres bears an irregular lobe called folliculus or follicular lobe. The two cerebellar hemispheres are connected together by a nervous band called the pons varoli. It's a feature very distinct of mammals. Surface of the cerebellum has numerous ridges called gyri and grooves called sulcus. The ventricle of the cerebellum is called metacele or epicele. The roof is thickened to form cerebellar cortex. In this region, the superficial grey matter grows irregularly inward into the white matter, giving a branch tree-like appearance called arbor vitae. Cerebellum is connected to other parts of brain by three pairs of fibrous tracts called peduncles. Next is the medulla oblongata, which is myelencephalon or spinal bulb. It is the posteriormost part of the brain. Its ventricle is called the myelocele or fourth ventricle. Extending between the diaceal and myocele is a median channel called iter or aqueduct of Sylvius. The non-nervous and vascular roof of the myelocele is called posterior choroid plexus. It has an opening into the myelocele called foramen of Magendie. So this is the ventricle, the olfactory lobe, which is having rhinocele. This is the paracele or lateral ventricle, communicating with the third ventricle by foramen of Monro. This is the third ventricle or diaceal. This is the iter that we had mentioned now, that is communicating with the fourth ventricle or metacele. So this is the different parts of the ventricle. Now the spinal cord is long, thick-walled tube of nervous tissue enclosed within the neural canal of the vertebral column. It leads backward from the medulla oblongata of the brain. gradually tapers up to the lumbar region and then terminates as a non-nervous thread in the tail called filum terminale. The central canal of the spinal cord is very narrow. Spinal cord has two local swellings called brachial enlargement in the region of forelimbs and sciatic enlargement in the region of hind limbs. Externally, the cord is marked out into right and left halves by longitudinal and dorsal and ventral fissures. It has same meninges as that of brain, outer dura mater, middle arachnoid membrane, and inner pia mater. Central canal of the spinal cord and spaces between the meninges are filled with cerebrospinal fluid. In spinal cord, the nervous tissue is arranged in two concentric layers around the central canal. There is outer white matter, inner grey matter. White matter is made of medullated nerve fibers, grey made of cytons or nerve cells. Grey matter is reduced into a pair of dorsolateral and a pair of ventrolateral projections called dorsal horns and ventral horns. Dorsal root of the spinal nerve arises from the dorsal horn and ventral root arises from the ventral horn. This arrangement of the grey matter divides the white matter into three columns of funiculi in each side, called the dorsal funiculus, ventral funiculus, and lateral funiculus. And there are 12 pairs of cranial nerves in a rabbit. Then there are 37 pairs of spinal nerves in rabbit. So these are the different parts of the nervous system.